when those rogues were looking for the white werewolf who could heal anything. They didn't know that the person they were looking for was standing right in front of them. Chapter 13 Alex POV. After taking Ava home, I continued with my alpha duties. Don't want to fall behind again. It's way too much work to want to catch up on. I've been doing alpha work for an hour now. I hear a soft knock on the door. I tell the person to come in. In walks my dad, the ex-alpha of my pack. I heard what happened to Ava yesterday. I'm not happy that low-life reject my baby girl. But you need to talk to Alec. You're her twin. Her other half, she obviously trusts you more than me or your mother. Tell her that he didn't deserve her and she'll get a better mate. I nod. I will, Dad. It's just I don't know what to say to her. I say, pacing my office. It's not like we're kids anymore and talk to each other about stuff like this like it's normal. I sigh, dragging my hand over my face. I plunk myself onto the couch in my office. Just talk to her, Alec. She is your twin. She might not admit it, but she needs you, says my dad in a small voice, leaving me alone. I sit at my desk thinking about this entire situation. If that asshole didn't reject my sister, she would be better off. She might have told me to leave him alone, but tomorrow he's going to get his ass handed to him. After all, he has no chance against an alpha. Plus, my sister is way too good to only be a beta female. She should be a Luna. I know I complain about her doing everything wrong. But she's kind, caring, and has all the characteristics needed for a Luna. I walk up to Ava's room. I knocked on the door. She says a soft come in and I enter. She's sitting on the foot of her bed staring into space. I sit next to her and say, you know, Ava, you're way too good for a jerk like Alex. You don't deserve a title as low as beta female. You should be nothing less than a Luna. I don't care about my title, Alec. I just want a caring mate who will always put me first. She sighs heavily. I can't believe I cried over that jerk. And I got stuck with him for a mate. She laughs bitterly. Why, Moon goddess? Why, she questions, looking up. Ava, you know I'm here for you if you need anything. I'm willing to listen. You're my little sister and I want to be there when you need me. I say, giving her a side hug. She smiles at me. You're only 5 minutes older than me, she exclaims, hitting my shoulder lightly. I chuckled. I miss this. What? I asked curiously. Us being able to talk like we used to. I nod in agreement. After my chat with Ava, I went back down to my office. I need to think of a way to find my mate. I start pacing again. Then Ava walks in. Did you make Melody come fetch me, or did she do it out of her own? I shake my head, smiling. I didn't tell her to sew anything. She did it out of her own. She told me she would fetch you and to wait by the locker. Ava smiles and hugs me. Thanks for not scaring my new bestie away. I laugh and she leaves me alone with my thoughts again. I wonder if my mate's thinking about me at this exact moment. Because lately she's all I think about. I can't wait to find her again. Doesn't she have a concert this Friday? Asks an excited Caden. Yeah, I think so. What are you waiting for? Buy tickets so you can see her and make sure she doesn't run this time. Show her we aren't as scary as she thinks. Great idea, KD. I'm going to find you soon, my beautiful mate. Sooner than you think. I think, smiling to myself. I went to bed early tonight feeling tired because of all the events that happened today. Melody's POV. I finally came up with the perfect plan. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. My plan is on Friday at my concert. If Alex shows up, I will somehow draw him out of the crowd. Get him alone and tell him about my double life. This will all be after the concert. Obviously. All I have to do is think of a way to draw him out of the crowd and to follow me. I just hope he doesn't reject me because of how complicated my life is. Then I'll explain to him why I ran away. This better work out because it's stressing me out big time. I think, fanning my face with my hand. Friday better come fast so I can get this over with. I really hope Ava's doing fine. I can't even imagine what she must be going through. I hope she knows and here if she needs me. I run downstairs and tell my brothers and cousins about my plan. They think it's good enough to work and are willing to help me. I just need their help with Alec. They're sorted. Let's just hope everything goes well. Chapter 14 Melody's POV. I woke up today and did the same as always. Got dressed and went downstairs. My brothers and cousins were strangely quiet. Something must be off. Normally they would tell me. Maybe it's just my imagination. I just shake off the feeling. I got into my car and sped off to school. When I arrived, I noticed a huge crowd surrounding some people. I, like many others, went to see what was up. Only to find Alec, and I think his name is Alex, bad-mouthing each other and trying to tackle each other. They were fighting. Alec was obviously winning. I'm not just saying that because he's my mate. He's an alpha and I'm pretty sure Alex is a beta. My tired my mate looks mighty fine beating the crap out of Alex. I hear Alec venomous, so I say, "You'll regret rejecting my sister Alex. Almost as much as regretting the day you were born." With that he throws a couple of punches at Alex. After the second punch, Alex was on the floor coughing out blood. Alex started kicking him in the stomach. I can't watch this. I know he deserves it, but this isn't right. What do I do? Break up fight. But there is something chance I will get punched. Alex stands up weakly, throwing a punch at Alec, who easily dodges it. Before Alec can throw another punch at Alex, I use my werewolf speed to stand in front of Alex. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He's not worth beating up. He broke your sister's heart. Don't stoop down to his level. He's an asshole, don't turn into one too. I say everything calmly. Alec doesn't reply, so I turn to Alex. Get out. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I grit out. He quickly scrambles away. If he were in wolf form, his tail would be in between his legs. I turn back to Alec. He stares at me tentatively. Everyone who was standing around and cheering the on-fight stares at me wide. I'd like I'm mad. All I did was stop a massive fight. Are you stupid to get yourself in the middle of a fight? Asks a furious Alec. I laugh him off. Do you honestly think that punch would have done much to me? I have alpha blood. I could have easily dodged it. Also, I know I can stop it because I live with 10 guys. They fight a lot and it's always physically, and I'm always the one to break up their fights. He stares at me blankly. They taught me how to fend for myself. So you punching me wouldn't have done much. If you say so, he says, walking into the school. Alex B.O.V. Hey Alec, who was that hot chick that broke up the fight? Asks a curious Matt. I don't know why, but him calling Melody hot makes me angry. I wonder why. I have a mate. I shake the feeling. She's Alf and Kashtan's sister. I didn't know he had a sister. Well, he does. Is she lacking brain cells? She just tried to top a fight between an alpha and beta. She lives with 10 guys and apparently knows how to separate a fight. I say, shrugging my shoulders. She clearly knows what she's doing. She was successful. Adds Eric, finally joining our conversation. You're skipped to Friday. The rest of the week dragged on since my fight with Alex on Tuesday. It's now Friday morning. I want school to end soon so I can go see my mate. She's performing tonight. And I will finally see her again, and this time I will talk to her. I won't let her run, and I'll make sure she's safe in my arms one way or another. I arrived at school. I had to give Matt a lift. Unfortunately for me, his car broke down yesterday, and I became his chauffeur. Yeah, I note the sarcasm. Amazing how an alpha can become a chauffeur for his beta. Today only started and I feel like it's never going to end. I just want to get through school so I can see my beautiful mate. During lunch, my friends and I sat in the cafeteria. Then Ashley, one of the school's biggest nuts, came walking up to us. Hey baby, she said in a seductive voice, running her really long witch-like nails down my arm. I mean it, she has mega long nails, it's disgusting. I remove her arm and say, don't touch me, you slut. Baby, I'm so hurt, that's no way to treat and talk to your Luna. That does it. She's a dead she-wolf. I took her by the neck and held her against the wall. You will never be my Luna, you worthless slut. Don't call me baby or come near me ever again. Otherwise next time I won't hesitate to kill you. I grit out. I wish I could say Caden took control of me, but that would be a complete lie. After that I let go of her as she falls to the floor. I grab my bag and leave school. It's not over, but whatever, I can't stand it here. Who does she think she is? That bitch calling herself my mate. Hate to break it to you, but I'm taken. I have a beautiful mate, and I would never reject her. No matter what. And I would definitely not reject her for a slut like Ashley. Especially when my mate has actually natural beauty and doesn't look like a fake Barbie doll. Chapter 15 Melodies POV. It's finally Friday. I'm so nervous. At school today, some slut walked up to my mate. She talked to him with a seductive voice, while running her hideously long nails down his arm. It me just say down Alec has amazing muscles on his arm. She said something about her being his Luna. I had to suppress a loud and vicious growl. Then he lost it. He took her by the neck and held her up against the wall. He told her that she would never be his Luna and to never come near him again. At that moment I wanted to go and kiss him. He basically told her to get lost because I found his mate. I'm so proud of him. Right now I'm getting ready for my concert. I honestly hope things go well. My outfit consisted of a black leather jacket, with a longish white top underneath, then a white strapless shirt and black leggings. I put on a chunky necklace and a pair of sunglasses on my shirt. I decided to put some earrings in too. I put my blue wig on and did my makeup. My makeup consisted of winged eyeliner, soft pink lipstick and some blush. I'm seriously not a big fan of makeup. I prefer natural beauty. I look at myself in the mirror and say, it's now or never. Then I walk out onto stage. I breathe in and out before walking on stage. Hello, New York. The crowd cheers me on. I'm so happy to be performing in front of such an awesome audience. Then I start singing. While singing I scan the crowd, looking for one face in particular. I see him and our eyes locked. I mind-linked the guys, her brothers and cousins. He came. I say excitedly. I can literally imagine them all smirking right now. Boys. I sing for about 1.5 hours. The crowd has been singing with me. They sing along to all my songs. Then I decided to sing a new song I wrote recently. After that I shouted, "Good night, New York. You're an amazing audience. Don't forget that," I say before walking off stage. Austin and Andrew run up to me. "He's following you." They breathe out in unison while panting. Probably from running. I nod. It's gonna happen. They walk away. Not even a minute later, I'm being pinned against the wall. In front of me stands a sexy-looking Alec. He looks great as Viola. Get your head out of the clouds, Viola. Alec takes his arms and cages me in between them. "Why did you run from me, mate?" he asks, sounding sad and offended, while nuzzling my neck. I. Then my breathing becomes hitched in the back of my throat. "You what?" he asks, smirking. I feel electricity when we touch. We don't even know each other and the mate bond is strong. I stare at him. He pecks me on the lips. "Kurt's got your tongue." I shake my head. "I need to talk to you but not here," I say, dragging him into my dressing room and locking the door. By the way, I locked the door in case anybody walks in and I'm not wearing my wig. I didn't lock it for any other reason. He looks at me confused. "I ran when I found out you were my mate because I live a double life," I say, looking down. "And why is that a problem?" "Love?" he asks, lifting my chin and tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. I turn around and say, "I ran because I thought you would reject me if I told you who I really was." Alex spins me around so that I'm facing him again. "I don't care about any of that, you're my mate." I can see he means it in his eyes. I see pure love in his eyes. I sigh and take off my wig. My real name's Melody and I'm Alpha Ashton's little sister. He smiles down at me since he's a head taller, then crashes his lips onto mine. I instantly kiss him back, loving the feeling of his lips on mine. He wraps his arms around my waist. When we need air, we break the kiss and put our foreheads together, breathing heavily. "Wow," I say. He just smiles, then pecks my lips again. "If you're my mate, then why didn't I recognize you as my mate when I was at your house?" You see. He stares at me, waiting for an explanation. "I used masking spray because I was afraid I would end up confusing you. So I decided to wait until my concert to tell you," I say, messing around with my fingers. He just laughs. "You have no idea how long I've waited to see you again. I thought you ran because I wasn't good enough." "That's not true," I say, pecking him on the cheek. "It's the other way around." You're perfect and don't ever tell yourself otherwise. Says I think his wolf. I suddenly feel scared. Sorry, love. My wolf took control. I didn't mean to scare you. I nod. What's your wolf's name? I ask shyly. His name is Caden and he went mad without you. He says, smiling. I'm still in his arms, so I put my head on his chest. I unlocked the door after changing into other clothing. What I don't need people finding out I'm Aubrey Elizabeth. Alec and I are instantly bombarded with millions of questions. You'll never guess who asked those questions. All my brothers and cousins. They're extremely overprotective. I hid me face in Alec's chest from pure embarrassment. Alec simply chuckles at me. Couldn't they wait to do this later? Boys. After being questioned by my brothers and cousins, as in Alec and I decided to go to the movies. As we walk to his car, I say, sorry about them. They're just extremely overprotective since I'm the only girl. It's okay, love, says Alec while chuckling. We get into his white BMW i8. This is your car? I ask excitedly. Yep. I've been eyeing this car for forever. It's the next car I want. I say, smiling from ear to ear. Good to know. He opens the car door for me, and I get in. He quickly walks over to the other side of the car and gets in. We sat in silence. It wasn't awkward silence, it was nice. He took my one hand and kissed it, then intertwined our fingers together. Chapter 16, Alec's POV. I finally found her. I think while driving us to the movies. I don't care that she lives a double life. She's perfect in every way. She ran away because she was scared about telling me who she really is. I love her and everything about her. It's a good thing she's friend with my sister, otherwise I might have had a problem. My sister can be very vocal with who she doesn't like. We arrived at the movies after a silent car ride. I get out and go open the door for my mate, Melody. I help her out and intertwined our fingers. I love the way her hand fits mine perfectly. I know mates are perfect for each other, but I didn't know in what ways. I guess I'll find out soon. We walk into the movies. I love having my Melody close. What movie would you like to watch, Melody? I ask her while nuzzling her neck. I don't mind. Alec, I love the way she says my name. It sends shivers down my spine. Okay, I go buy us tickets and popcorn. I'm taking her to watch a horror movie, so if she gets scared she will cuddle up with me. She'll end up hiding her head in my chest again. I love holding her. Her body fits perfectly into mine. It's the only way to get her close to me and to get her in my arms. The best part is that she's all mine and I'm all hers. I would never hurt her. She's my Luna, my everything. My world. We walk into the cinema, hand in hand. We sit right at the back of the cinema, our fingers still intertwined. 10 minutes later, Melody is screaming and jumping in her seat. I scoop her up and put her in my lap. Sparks immediately shoot through my body. She instantly sticks her head in my neck, hiding her face from the movie. I kinda feel bad for making her watch this now. Melody, are you okay? I ask, genuinely concerned. I'm fine, she stutters out in fear. Do you want to go watch something else? No, I want to stay here in your arms. I smile because I loved her reply. Her reply has officially made my day. After the movie, I carried her of the cinema bridal style. Alec, please put me down. I can walk, I have perfectly fine legs, she says, getting annoyed. I shake my head. Please, people are starting to stare. Fine, but next time let them stare. She rolls her eyes. Please, she asks with puppy dog eyes. I mumbled a soft fine and put her down, connecting our hands once more. After the movies, I took her home. I walked her to the door and kissed her. She responded immediately. I love the feeling of her lips on mine. They're so soft. I walked her inside and tucked her in bed. She set off almost immediately. I kissed her forehead. Night, princess. I quietly shut her room door and tried to find her brothers. I walked around for a while before seeing Ashton. Ashton, I need to speak to you and Mason about Melody. I need to speak to you too. Let's go to my office. I'll tell Mason to meet us there. I nod. We walk into his office to find Mason already waiting for us. Okay, Alec, we have one rule. Don't hurt our little sister. I wouldn't dream of it. What did you want to talk about? Asks Ashton, curious lie. I wanted to know if you two are okay with Melody moving in with me. It's not really up to us, it's Mel's decision. Answers Mason. Oh, I know, I just wanted to ask you first to know if it's okay. We guess so, says Mason, looking at Ashton. But she can come here whenever she wants to, adds Mason. I nod and shake their hands before saying goodnight. Tomorrow I ask Melody to move in with me. Hopefully she'll say yes. I want her close, so I can keep an eye on her and protect her. I also really enjoy her company. Also, in case any rogue attacks happen, I want to know she's safe. She'll be safer in my pack than in this one. She's safer with me than she is with anyone. We found her, Katie. I say to my wolf. I know. He replies, giving me a wolfy smile. Chapter 17. Melody's POV. I woke up this morning feeling excited. I quickly got dressed and did my every morning routine. My outfit today consisted of a maroon shirt tucked into a black skirt. I tried a black and white checked shirt around my waist. I put on a necklace and some bangles. I put some black wedges on. I decided to leave my hair in its natural wavy state. I skipped downstairs. As always, I headed to the kitchen. Enthusiasm in the kitchen. I found not only my brothers and cousins but also my mate. Alec was here. I ran up to him and hugged him. He immediately wrapped his arms around me. I missed you, he whispered in my hair. I just smiled because I missed him too. Eventually I pulled away. What, no hug for the rest of us? Asked Hunter. I just shake my head no, in reply. I ate something then asked. Not to be rude, Alec, but what are you doing here? I came to pick you up. You're going to meet my parents. Your parents? I asked, swallowing hard. Alec just nodded. Don't worry, they will love you. He says, wrapping his arms around my waist and planting a kiss on my temple. I relax at his touch and let the sparks fly through my body. It's an amazing feeling. We arrived at Alec's back house not long after. I'm kinda shaking from nervousness. What if his parents don't like me? What if they don't think I'm good enough for their son? As if sensing my distress, Alec takes a hold of my hand and squeezes it in a comforting manner. I breathe in before stepping into his mansion. It's really beautiful. I can't even imagine what the inside looks like. We slowly walk inside. It probably looks just as nice. Maybe even better. I walk in and I'm stunned. The inside is even more beautiful than the outside. They have the staircase. Alec reads my facial expression and says, do you like it? I love it, I reply in awe. Then descends a pretty middle-aged woman from the one staircase. She walks down till in front of Alec and I. Mother, this is my mate. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Milby. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She looks at me and her smile automatically brightens. She pulls me into a hug. I'm Claire, Alec's mother. It's great to meet you, dear, she says warmly. She pulls away from the hug, then shouts, Logan, our son finally found his mate. Then in comes a middle-aged man, looking quite a lot like Ava. I guess Alec looks more like his mother, and Ava looks more like her father. Alec once again introduces me. His father looks scary but smiles brightly at me, then surprisingly pulls me into a hug. She's beautiful. Son better take care of her, says Alec's father, sounding serious. I will reply as Alec staring at me with a loving expression and love in his eyes. Claire calls Ava down. Avani, come meet your twins, mate. Ava walks down the stairs, sees me and runs to me, engulfing me in a hug. Melody, I'm so glad you're my brother's mate, exclaims Ava. I smile warmly at her. I feel her arm snake around my waist. I smile up at Alec. He puts his chin on my head. Ava, don't scare her away with your excitement, he mumbles. I laugh. Claire speaks again. So Ava, you know Melody? Yes, she's my new best IE mom. She's the one who helped me on Monday and got me to talk to Alec. Claire smiles at me. Well, let's have lunch, says Claire. Lunch was great. Alec's parents seem nice. They've really welcomed me, and Davy and I are even closer now. Right now Alec and I are cuddled up on his bed watching Netflix. Melody, Claire hummed in response. I was wondering if you wanted to move in with me, asks Alec nervously. He's so cute when he's nervous. I just want to pinch his cheeks. Instead of answering him, I crash my lips onto his. When we break apart, he asks, Is that a yes? I nod. Can I move in tomorrow? Alec has the biggest smile on his face right now. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Wait, what are my brothers gonna say? I ask Alec. Don't worry, I spoke to them last night. They said it was up to you. I lightly punched him on the shoulder. You're sneaky. Yes, I am, but you love me anyway, he says, childishly sticking his tongue out. I laugh. I love your laugh, he says, staring at me tentatively. It's starting to make me feel very self-conscious. So I look down. He lifts my chin and kisses me again. I love his kisses, it always leaves me wanting more. We break away soon after, placing our foreheads together. We watched some Netflix but fell asleep. I woke up with a strong arm around my waist. I looked at the time, it was late. Alec, wake up, I say, shaking him slightly. His grip around me only tightens. Then I kiss him to wake him up. He replies almost immediately. How did I know that would work? I could wake up to this every day, he says, smirking. I just shake my head and tell him I need to go home because it's late. He argues, saying I should stay but takes me home anyway. If I don't go home, my brothers will most likely send out a search party for me. I know it's a lot and overboard, but they do it because they think I was kidnapped by rogues. You know, with me being a white wolf, they're even more overprotective. Chapter 18, Melody's POV. Today is the day I move in with Alec. I'm so excited. Right now I'm packing all my bags. I'm gonna miss living here. I'm probably going to miss my brothers and cousins more. I know I complain about them being overprotective, but that they're the only family I have left. And I'm all they have left. I finally finished packing. I'm trying to close my suitcase. Need some help? Asks Alec, leaning against my door frame. I nod. He comes up to me and pecks me on the lips before zipping up my suitcase with ease. That's not fair, I've been struggling and he does it with such ease. Then grabs my hand and leads me downstairs. Alec, what about my bags? I ask curiously. Don't worry, Mel. I'll get someone to pick them up and put them in your room, he says nonchalantly, kissing my nose. I shake my head and giggle. We go into the kitchen. The room suddenly goes all quiet as we enter. Look, guys, I know you don't want me to go. But how do I explain why I should go and not stay? I say, dragging the hands down my face. Alshan comes up to me and engulfs me in a hug. We know, lil sis. We'll miss having you around, he says, kissing my forehead. After our hug, Mason engulfs me into a hug. Be careful, please, Mel. We're here if you need us. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I know, I said into his chest. I turned to both my brothers quickly and their eyes shift to quiz and mine shifted green and blue. Before shifting back to its original eye color, our turns to say bye, said all 8 of my cousins in unison. Grayson came up to me first and gave me a hug that pulled us arm's length apart. I'm gonna miss annoying the hell out of you. I laugh. But I'm also gonna miss your singing and when we play music together. I look up at him and smile. Me too. Next, Hunter pulled me in for a hug. Who's gonna break up all the stupid fights we have now? And who's gonna calm us down when we're together, angry to talk? I break away from the hug, and I start singing. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day, Superman got nothing on me, I'm only one call away. Then I say, Hunter, I seriously mean it. All you'll need to do is call and I'll be there. Okay, and he nods. Dylan comes up to me and says, I won't hug you because if I do I won't let him take you, he says, pointing at Alec. I'll miss you, to Dylan. He just gives me a sad smile. Jay stands on the other side of the kitchen counter, looking very unhappy. No hug. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I ask in a joking manner. He comes up to me and says, You have no idea how much I'm going to miss you, Melody. He said my full name, normally he just calls me Mel. I thought. You're one of the only reasons we're so close, and that we've always stuck together. I am and always will be, that will never change no matter where I live, or who I live with. He releases me from the hug and smiles down at me, then gives me another quick squeeze. I know I always said I wanted you gone, but I don't know how we'll survive without you, little Mel, says honestly. He pulls me into a hug. After the hug he turns to Alec. Take care of her or else, he says in a very threatening tone. Overprotective. Liam comes to me and wraps his arms around me. I'm gonna miss you now. Everyone here is. Remember to be yourself always. And remember everything we taught you now that you're a Luna. He pulls me arm's length apart and smiles. You've always made us proud. Ever since that day. He says it carefully like he's trying to make sure I won't break down. I give him a sad smile. That day he was referring to as the day my parents died. One of the worst days of our lives. By the mention of it everyone at the room tensed, then quickly relaxed. Trying to make sure Alec didn't pick up on it, but I'm pretty sure he did. Chase stands a couple of feet away from me and says, I can't believe my little cousin is leaving. Without all of us. Can I at least have a hug? He nods and gives me a quick hug before going up to his room. He's not really one to talk about his feelings easily. Like he won't talk to one of the guys. I'm the only exception. I sigh and I watch his retreating figure go up the stairs. Austin hugs me and says, You know he'll be fine, Mel. I just sigh heavily. We're always here now. And anyone who messes with you still and always will mess with us. I nod in his chest. And laugh they'll never change. Then I hear Rash yell. Goodbye group hug. All of a sudden I'm in the middle of this group hug. I laugh, I'm gonna miss them so much. I say bye to all of them. Then Alec leads me to his car and we drive to his home. Or should I call it my new home? I don't know yet. I guess we'll have to see how this goes. Chapter 19 Alec's POV. I drove Melody to my house. During the drive the radio was on and Mel started singing along. She has this amazing melodic voice. She's perfect in every way. I can't help but think one day she'll sing to our children. She'll sing them to sleep. That thought puts a massive smile on my face. We got to the house and she was immediately pulled into a hug by my mother. It's great to see you again, Melody. Melly laughs at my mother. It's great to see you again too. But you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. My mother pulls away from the hug and gives Melody a puzzled look. I'm moving in. My mother's eyes widen and she engulfs Melody into another hug. I pull my mother and Melody apart. Don't break, come on. My mother rolls her eyes at me and says, Melody, dear, if you need any help moving in, just ask. Melody nods and my mother walks off. She's probably going to talk to some of the females in the pack. Your mother's so welcoming, says Melody, looking straight at me. I chuckle. She likes you, that's why. Melody and I walk up the stairs hand in hand. We see a few pack members along the way. They all bow their heads slightly at me. We get to the top floor of the house. Only my beta, Third and I are on this floor, along with our officers. I tell Melody. She nods. We walk down the hall until we're in front of my room. I don't want to rush you into sleeping in the same bed as me, so I put you in a room directly across from mine. Melody smiles and gives me a kiss on the cheek. Thank you. Now go get settled into your new room. I'll be in my office if you need me. I kissing her forehead, then walking off. Melody's POV. My new room is beautiful and big. The walls were pearl white. There was a queen-size bed in the middle of the room. It had pale pink and white bedding on it. Directly across the bed was a flat-screen TV and a fireplace under the TV. There was a couch and 2 armchairs. There are 2 doors in the room. I'm guessing they led to a bathroom and closet. I spent my time packing my stuff away and looking at the view of the forest from my bedroom window. Then 2 strong arms hug me from the back. I instantly know it's Alec because of the tingles. Beautiful view, isn't it? I sigh and nod. Come on, it's time for dinner. We walk down hand in hand. Dinner was nice. Everyone was asking me questions. Eventually Alec got irritated with them for asking questions and told them to stop. I didn't mind, they're just curious. After dinner Alec and I watched some TV. At about 12 am I got up and went to go sleep. Alec's POV. I was woken up by soft whimpering. I heard it and got up to go see if Melody was okay. I walked into her room. I found her rolling around in the bed whimpering. She must be having a nightmare. I walked up to her bed and sat down next to her sleeping figure. I shake her slightly, trying to wake her up. Her eyes flutter open and she sits up. Are you okay? You're shaking and you were whimpering in your sleep. I'm fine, it was just a nightmare. Well, I'm staying here with you so that it doesn't happen again. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Melody just nods. It doesn't look like she has enough energy to talk right now. I get into her bed and wrap my arms around her. She rests her head in my chest and before I know it, she's sleeping. Her breathing is calm. Soon darkness overtakes me as well. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep with a smile on my face, because my mate is in my arms where she belongs. Melody's POV. After leaving Alec to go to bed, I struggled to fall asleep. Once I fall asleep, I wanted to wake up. I had a nightmare about the day my parents were killed. I always get that nightmare. It never seems to go away. It's like a reminder that they'll come for me. I felt someone gently shake me. My eyes fluttered open only to come face to face with Alec. I instantly sit up. Are you okay? You're shaking and you were whimpering in your sleep, says a worried-looking Alec. I'm fine, it was just a nightmare. Well, I'm staying here with you so that it doesn't happen again, okay? All I can do is nod. I don't have any energy to argue with Alec now. Alec slowly climbs into my bed. Once he's inside, he wraps his arms around my waist, pulling me closer to him. I put my head in his chest and I easily fall asleep in my mate's arms. In his arms I feel safe, like nothing can hurt me. I know he'll do everything in his power to keep me safe. Chapter 20, Melody's POV. I woke up only to come face to face with Alec's sleeping form. For a moment I'm confused on why he's in my bed. But then the memories of last night come crashing down on me. I had that same dream that keeps me up at night, that deprives me of sleep. It also reminds me that I'm the reason they are dead, and the reason my parents died. I shake my head and return to my reality. I stare up at his gorgeous face. He has an extremely sharp jawline. He could probably give me a paper cut. He looks so peaceful in his sleep. Makes me wonder if he actually is the alpha of the strongest pack. He looks so peaceful, like he can't even hurt a fly. I trace the features on his face. I get to his lips and his eyes suddenly opens. His lips twitch upwards into a massive smile. Can't get enough of me, can you? He asks cock-I-L-Y. I blush. I probably look like a tomato. He takes my chin and lifts it up to that I'm looking at him again. I didn't say I had a problem with that, love. I could wake up like this every day. Princess. He smirks before his lips crash onto mine. He pulls away after a while. I pout. He stands up, then I finally notice. He's only wearing shorts, no top. Damn, he has an 8-pack. Couldn't you put on a shirt last night before getting into my bed? I ask slowly. I turn my head away from his drawer with the 8-pack. He comes up to me, takes my hand, takes my index finger and traces it along his ABS. Why does he need to be such a tease? You can't tell me you don't love this, he says, still using my finger to trace his ABS. I swol low hard and bit my lip. Unfortunately, he notices. He brushes his lips against my ear. Don't worry, Melody, it's all yours. And you're all mine, he says possessively. I simply nod. His lips somehow find mine again, and we have a little make-out session. After our make-out session, I pull away and say, we need to get ready for the day. Alec's eyes have darkened. His wolf is surfacing. He nuzzles my neck, then kisses the spot where his mark will one day be. I shiver in delight when he kisses it. Soon, my Melody. Soon. I gulp. He pecks my lips once more before exiting my room. Hopefully he doesn't mark me soon or without my permission. I fall back onto my bed and let out an exaggerated sigh. I shake my head and get done. Probably have a long day ahead of me. I took a quick shower, and I mean a really quick shower. It was under 10 minutes long. That's quick for me. Then I put on a plain white dress. I add a cute green jacket along with a white pair of wedges and some accessories. I put some light pink lipstick on. I walked out of my room and closed the door at the exact same time Alec came out of his room. I smiled when I saw him. He took my hand and led me downstairs. We got to the kitchen and saw his mum. She greeted the two of us and gave us each some pancakes. I thanked her. This looks absolutely delicious. Oh my word. Ava walks into the kitchen next. While the three of us are eating, Alex starts a conversation. I have a meeting with Alpha Carter of Black Crescent Pack today. I look up from my plate and nod. I want you to hear their melody. After all, you are the Luna. I look up at him and smile. I walk up to him and hug him. His arms instantly go around my waist, hugging me back. Thank you for including me in things to do with the pack. Anytime. Love. Don't get all lovey-dovey on me now, people, says Ava, pulling a funny face. Alec and I both roll our eyes at her. Then both of us burst out laughing. Don't worry, you'll find your second chance, mate. Soon. I hope. 2 hours later. Alec and I are cuddling on the couch in the TV room. Then the doorbell rings. Alec's eyes dramatically. It's probably Carter. We get up and walk over to the front door of the house hand on hand. I can't believe I'm the Luna now. No more the Alpha's little sister. When we get to the front door, Alec opens it. There stands a guy. He looks around about our age. Very light-haired, almost looks white. He has nice electric blue eyes. His hair is literally almost snow white. Alec holds out his hand and the other Alpha Carter shakes it. He lets Carter in. Carter, this is my mate. Melody, the Luna of Moon. Alec says, introducing us. It's nice to meet you, Melody. He says, giving me a curt nod. I nod and smile politely. Alec and Carter talk about the meeting they are about to have. I zoned out of that since I know a little about packwork. Ashton never allowed me to help. He said I should never have to worry about that stuff. Then in walks Ava into the foyer where we have been standing and sniffs the air. Then I notice, so does Carter. Interesting. Then it registered with me. No, they can't be, can they? Carter is Ava's Aiken chance mate. Their eyes lock, and Carter yells. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Nilbe. Carter, thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Chapter 21. Melody's POV in an instant. Carter was in front of Ava. She looked up at him with unsure eyes. It's like she was afraid he would hurt her like the asshole Alex. Carter engulfed Ava in a hug. He was nuzzling her neck and she was standing there awkwardly, her hands at her side, like she's afraid of getting close to him because she thinks he might reject her. Carter pulls away from the hug and looks tentatively at Ava. He's staring at her with so much love and lust in his eyes. He puts his hand on her cheek. What's wrong, love? Why didn't you hug me back? He asks, sounding hurt and curious at the same time. It's not that. Ava replies. Then what is it? All I want to do is make you happy. I know you'll look so much prettier if you would just put a smile on your face. He says, smiling warmly at her. Ava bites her lip and he notices. He starts staring at her lips. I look at Alec and he looks like he wants to say something. He's probably going to be a protective big brother. I mean, this is his twin we're talking about. I look at him and send him a smile. He smiles back. I mind link Alec and say, Ava looks like she's broken because of what happened with her first mate. Can I take her out of the room and talk to her about it? Meanwhile, you keep Alpha Carter busy. Tell him why she's being so distant and looks so unsure of herself. Fine, I'll distract Carter while you talk to my sister. Should I really be the one to tell him about Ava's mate who rejected her, or should I let her tell him herself? I'll ask her while I'm speaking to her and mind link you the answer. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I look up at him and he nods. He's smiling down at me because he's talker. You can also give him the big brother talk. I mind link him again, laughing in my mind. Alec just chuckled out loud. I cough and Alpha Carter and Ava immediately look my way. They're starting to make me feel extremely self-conscious. Feeling my unease, Alec wraps a muscular arm around my waist. Avakini for a second. I ask her and she nods quickly. I look at Alpha Carter and he nods as well. I grab hold of Ava's arm and drag her up the stairs to her room. Once we're inside, I close the door. Ava goes and sits on the foot of her bed. I walk to her bed and sit next to her, making the bed dip. Avi, are you okay? She looks at me like she's about to start crying. Melody, what if he's just like Alex and rejects me? She asks now in tears Ava. I say, pulling her into a hug. Do you want Alec to tell him about Alex? Because Carter is probably wondering why his mate seems so distant. She nods her head on my shoulder. I mind-linked Alec. You can tell Carter. Ava wants him to know. Alex simply replied with a okay. I look back at Ava, who I'm still hugging. I pull away from the hug and say, I don't think Carter will reject you. I mean, when he first saw you, he had love and lust in his eyes. He's not going to end up doing what Alex did. And if Carter tries anything to hurt you, well, we'll get your brother to beat his ass. Ava chuckles to what I said about Alec beating Carter. She looks up at me and says I don't doubt that might won't hurt Carter. She jokesy. The two of us laugh. Ready to go back downstairs and talk to your mate. It's now or never, right? She asks and I nod, sending her a reassuring smile. The two of us walk downstairs only to find Alec and Carter are not where we left them. Where are they? I ask aloud. Ava laughs. They're probably in Alec's office. Mel, I laugh too. Then we walk in the direction of his office, which is back upstairs. I'm telling you, I could probably become really fit just be walk up these stairs. But then again, I'm a werewolf, fine fit anyway. We get to his office and I knock lightly on the big wooden doors. I hear someone say come in and Ava and I enter the office. I keep the door open for Ava and closed it once she was inside. I walk over to Alec, who is standing behind his desk. Once I'm next to him, he wrapped his arms around me waist, pulling me in front of him. I look at Ava a reassuring smile. Carter walks over to Ava. Your brother told you about the asshole who rejected you. You have every right to keep me at a distance after that. But please give me a chance. Give us a chance. I promise you I'm nothing like that good-for-nothing who rejected you. All I want to do is make you happy. Oh wow, that's so sweet. Okay. I'll give us a chance. But we are going to take things slowly. Ava says, smiling up at Carter. Carter lifts Ava up and spins her around and she's giggling. He puts her down, then pecks her on the cheek. Ava's cheeks turn a light shade of pink. Alec looks down at me and he is smiling, so I smile back. He then whispers, You're amazing, you know that, in my ear, making me grin like a Cheshire cat. I peck Alec on the nose. All of a sudden, Alec's eyes fog over. He must be mind-linking someone in the pack. His grip around me waist tightens. Once he's done, I ask what's wrong and he grits out one word. Rogues. And I swallow hard. They found me. Alex POV. One of my warriors on parole just mind-linked me, telling he that there are rogues on my territory. My grip around Melody tightens. I looks at my mate and she has a worried expression written all over features. She asks what's wrong and I'll grit out one word. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nogan. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I notice that Mel swallowed hard at the mention of rogues. I'll have to ask her about it later. I look up and see Meatwin and her mate. Ava gives me that look to tell her where they are. I tell them everything I was told through MindLink. That there are a handful of rogues on the northern parts of my territory. Kershaw offers to help me take them down. I tell Melody and Deva to stay inside the house. Then Carter and I go outside. I shift as soon as I'm outside. Carter goes behind a tree to strip. Not long after, a light blonde wolf walks up to me from where Carter was. We nod to acknowledge each other in wolf form. The two of us sprint off to the northern parts of my territory. When we get there, we see 3 dead rogues and one of my warriors have another rogue held against a tree by his neck. I shift and put some shorts on, then I walk up to the warrior and the rogue. Put him in the underground prison and I'll question him later. The warrior replies with, Yes, Alpha. He bows his head and takes the rogue away. Chapter 22. Alex POV. Carter and I walk silently to my underground prison. There we see the rogue chained to the wall. The underground prison is like a normal prison. It's under our old pack house. No way was I having it under the current pack house. What if a rogue had to escape then it would follow the stairs into my pack house, which could end in dead pack members. I walk up and grab him by the neck. What were you and your friends doing on my territory? I see without putting XP houses on my. I harshly let go of his neck and wait for him to reply. All the stupid rogue does is let out a laugh. I walk back up to him, to intimidate him. You honestly think I would tell you Alpha? He says, spitting out the word Alpha. I glare at him for a while, trying to read his facial expressions. It's blank. Extremely helpful. Note my sarcasm. I let out an exaggerated sigh. I mind-linked Matt and told him to get down to the underground prison fast. I told him to bring a special package with. Carter and I stare at the rogue and he looks at anything but us. Carter growls in frustration. Then Matt, my beta, walks in. Correction, he strolls in casually like there's no rogue chained to the wall. He sees Carter and I and bows his head. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We both nodded in response. Here's what you asked for, says Matt, handing me a brown paper bag. I open the paper bag to find a silver metallic substance in a syringe. I mess around with it in my fingers, then look up at the rogue who has his eyes focused on the syringe. I presume you know what this is. I ask the rogue slowly in a bored tone. He nods his head and gulps. I start smirking. Good. I slowly start walking towards him with the needle in my hand. You're going to tell me everything I want to know, and in return I won't inject this compound containing silver in you, I say, staring directly at the rogue. I turn to the side to see Carter and Matt smirking heavily. The substance is a compound containing a small amount of silver and some other substances that make werewolves weak. All packs have a supply of them. Matt happens to be in charge of my pack supply. I turn back to the rogue to see fear written all over his face. You willing to cooperate? I ask, fiddling with the syringe. I stares wide-eyed at it. No, he mutters out in a shaky voice. Have it your way, I say, injecting the silver compound into his neck. The rogue starts screaming in pain. You see, this silver compound does the same thing silver does. It burns you, only difference is this stuff burns you from the inside. Now tell me what you and your friends were doing on my territory. I yell. W, we were looking for S, something he stutters out. What were you looking for? I ask harshly, using alpha tone. It's a W, White Wolf. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He bows his head in submission. I look at him puzzled. There's no white wolf in my pack. They're extremely rare and any pack would protect them with most of their lives. White wolves have a special gift that the moon goddess has given them. I notice Carter lift his head at the mention of a white wolf. Tell us more about this white wolf you are looking for. Carter says. The rogue nods. Oh, our leader believes this W, White Wolf has a S, special power. To H, heal anyone else in. So he S, sent me and the others to F find it. We believe the white W, Wolf is a F, a female. B, but we D not know W, who, he says and his eyes shut. He's unconscious. Side effects of the silver compound, it drains you mentally and physically from the inside. It basically knocks you out after 10 minutes. You'll be lucky if he lasts that long. Carter and I stare at each other. I notice Matt's still down here. Matt, tell me when this rogue wakes up, I command, spitting out the word rogue. I look at Carter and say, ready to go back to our mates. At the mention of mate, Carter smiles brightly. Probably thinking of my little sister. Right now all I want to do and hold my beautiful Melody in my arms and breathe in her breathtaking scent. I need it to calm my wolf. Melody's POV. Straight after Alec and Carter left, I hugged Ava and walked to my room. I started hyperventilating on my way there. I need to calm down. It would really help if Alec was here to help me calm down. All I can think of is that fact that they're here for me. I go to his room because it's covered in his scent. It will help calm my nerves. I hope. I walk in a breath in my mate's scent. It immediately calms me. I let out a shaky breath I didn't know I was keeping. 1 hour later. I'm currently pacing his room. It's been an hour and the boys aren't back. I'm starting to get really worried. I thought of going to see her and talk to her. Then I heard the room door creak open. I turned to it immediately to see who was about to walk in. Then walks in Alec nonchalantly like it's an ordinary day and rogues didn't try to attack. I stare at him shocked. He puts on a shirt, but I didn't mind the view of his very toned abs. What, it's so sexy. Then realization hits me. My mate is okay. I run up to him and tackle him and hug. He chuckles and we fall backwards. All you hear is a loud thud. Miss me already? He asks, smirking. I nod and hug him tightly. Then I realize we're both on the floor and I sit up. Alec's smirk grows wider. I give him a confused look. He leans up to me and whispers, I'm loving this position. My eyes widen. I'm such an idiot, I've been straddling him the entire time. I jump up immediately, looking down with embarrassment. He crawling up my neck, making its way onto my cheeks. Alec stand up and lift my chin so that I'm looking at him. You look pretty when you're embarrassed. Nerve, he says, staring into my eyes. Then he leans down and our lips touch. He wraps his arms around my waist. After our kiss, we lean our foreheads together and stare into each other's eyes, breathing heavily. Chapter 23, Melody's POV. Not that I'm complaining about you worrying over me. But why do you worry so much? Alec asks while our foreheads are still pressed together. I stare into his eyes for a while, trying to form a reasonable response. Eventually I pull away from Alec and stare down at the now very interesting floor. Alec cups my cheek and lifts my face up so that I'm staring at him. As soon as I see his loving expression, I bite my lower lip. His eyes flash over to my lips in an instant. He moves his finger to my lips and creases it so that I am no longer biting it. It's distracting, he mutters. I blush deep scarlet. Alec's lips make contact with mine. He kisses me gently. Our lips move in sync. After a while he pulls away. Melody, please tell me why you were pacing before I got here, he says gently. I nod. I interlock our fingers together and pull him over to the bed. I sit down and he sits down beside me. I was worried because you took so long. I thought something happened to you, I whisper, playing with his fingers. They're actually a lot bigger than mine, but mine fits perfectly in his. Alec once again lifts my chin so that I'm looking up at him. He pecks my nose, then hugs me. What did I do to get an amazing mate like you? He asks, laughing. I giggle too. Yeah, what did you do to get a mate like me, who ran away when I first saw you? I say, sighing deeply. Hey, you were scared and didn't know what to expect. All that matters is that we're together now. I'm not losing you anytime soon. Melody, please promise me you'll never run from me again, he says, giving me a pointed look. I finally pull away from his warm embrace. As soon as I do, I regret it, already missing the feeling of being in his arms. I look up at my Greek godlike mate. What happened with the rogue's attack? Using air quotes for rogue attack. I instantly notice that Alec clenches his jaw and anger takes over his features. I grab his hand and squeeze it in an attempt to calm him down. He closes his eyes and breathes deeply, then opens them. I wouldn't call it an attack, Mel. It's all he says. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. What happened? You know you can tell me anything, right? I whisper, still squeezing his hand. He squeezes mine back and stares at me with loving eyes. I know. I stare at him tentatively, as if telling him to continue and tell me what's bugging him. He sighs heavily. You're not going to stop until I tell you? Nope, I reply, popping the P. Alec chuckles. Alec's POV. Well, when Carter and I got there, two of the rogues attacked. They were all dead except one. I told my warrior to take him down to our underground prison cells. Then Carter and I headed there. We questioned him and he refused to answer. Melody gasps. So you killed him as well? She asks with fear in her eyes. I immediately shake my head. No, please don't look at me like I'm some sort of monster now. I don't want you to be scared of me, I said, scared that my own mate would fear me. She does what I expect least. She wraps her arms around my torso and hugs me. I'm shocked at first but hug her back. I don't fear you. I just suspected that you killed the rogue because he refused to give you the answers you were looking for. My lips dug upwards and I smile at my mate. She's going to make an amazing loon very soon. Can I continue with telling you what happened? Melody hastily nods her head and I chuckle at her cuteness. Eventually, I got tired of him refusing to answer my questions, so I called Matt, my beta, down. I told him to bring a syringe of a certain substance with him. We used that to inject the rogue and he answered questions. He told us they were looking for a white wolf. His leader believes is in our pack. They think it's a female who can heal anyone or thing. But the weird thing is that there's no white wolf in our pack. Then I notice Melody swallow hard. Something's wrong with mate, says a worried Caden. Melody, what's wrong? It looks like something is bothering you. I say, carefully choosing my words. Alec, I need to tell you something and you're probably going to hate me for not telling you this any sooner. She says and she looks like she's on the verge of tears. I could never hate you. Love. The rogues were looking for me. I give her a puzzled look. I'm the white wolf they're looking for. Melody, how could you not tell me this? I say, feeling hurt that my own mate didn't trust me enough to tell me something so important about her. Mel stands up and turns so that her back is facing me. Nothing good has ever come from me being a white wolf. Only horrible things. My parents died because they were protecting me when I was 9. There has always been one certain group of rogues trying to find me. They attacked Tasha's pack twice. When I was 9 and my parents died and before we moved here. They need me because of my unique and extremely rare healing powers. We moved closer to your pack because they attacked us. I stand up and spin Melody around so that she's facing me. I put my hand on her hips and stare down at her. My mate is in tears because of those rogues. I use my thumbs to whip away her tears. Then I pull her closer to me. Melody cries in my chest and I can't help but feel guilty for making her cry. I accused her of hiding something from me, not no reasons behind it. I feel like such a jerk right now. Hey, it's okay, don't cry and tell me what happened. And Melody tells me everything, starting with her parents sacrificing themselves for her, to her brothers and cousins practically raising her, and to the last attack. Let's just say that right now I feel like I should have ripped those rogues limb from limb myself and not let my warriors do it. That rogue in the cell better tell me about his leader when I go visit him later, and if they're planning an attack on my pack. I'm pretty sure Melody can see steam coming out of my ears, that's how angry I am. She hugs me in an attempt to calm me down and it works. I wrap my arms around her waist, not wanting to let go. I nuzzle my head in her neck. I quickly kiss the place where my mark will one day be, and Melody moans. That quickly changes my mood. Just then the doorbell rings. So Mel and I go open it. Then in walks 10 guys, also known as Melody's brothers and cousins. Melody, thank the moon goddess you're okay. Say her second eldest brother Mason, engulfing her in a hug. Why wouldn't my mate be safe with me? I ask with my eyebrows raised and my arms crossed. Well, you see, says Ashton, rubbing his neck. All of them look at him like he's the only one who can answer my question. He knows, guys. I told him today, says Melody, wrapping her arms around my torso. Yes, I know that Mel's a unique shifter. They all burst out laughing. Unique doesn't even cover it, dude, says her one cousin, I think Grayson. Anyway, what are you doing here? I asked curiously. Well, Ash and Mason's eyes shifted turquoise, so we knew something was up with Mel. They could also feel her anxiety and worry, so we got here as soon as possible, says Ander. I give them a confused look. Is all I managed to say. To my aching extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm, says Mel, and I look down at her. My brothers and I hold a special or unique sibling bond. When one of us is in danger or has a certain emotion flowing through them, the other two can feel it. Our eyes shift a certain color for each of us. Their eyes shift turquoise when I'm in danger or I have a certain emotion flowing through me. Mason and mine's eyes turn dark blue. Ashton and mine's eyes turn emerald green. She explains. Wow, I've never heard of that. I say, bewildered. Mel smiles at me, then turns to her family. You felt my emotions because rogues were on this territory earlier. The same rogues that killed Mom and Dad. But only a couple of them looking for a white shifter. That's why I had to tell Alec. They all get a worried expression. Alpha the rogue is awake, says Matt through Mind Link. Guys, come inside and go to my office and discuss this, and I'll be back shortly. I tell them I hug Mel and go. I'm going to get more answers from that rogue. If anyone thinks they're going to get their paws on Melody, they're dead wrong, she's mine. No one is taking mate. No one gets what's mine, says Cade, ungrowing possessive lie. He's downright